Good morning and welcome once again to Costume Confidential, where you get a sneak peek into some of the items that are found in the Pickering Museum Village costume collection. I'm Julie Oakes, your friendly neighborhood costumer, and today we're going to talk about wardrobe extenders. So I mentioned in one of our segments that maybe a country lady might only have a couple of dresses, maybe 3, maybe 2, depending. So how on earth do you make 1 or 2 dresses look like a more extensive wardrobe? Well, there's a good way to do that. First of all, you can do what we call wardrobe extenders. Now, around your neck, in the earlier time periods for sure, you'd be wearing something like this. It's a triangular piece of cloth called a fichus, usually made of quite a fine fabric. And this would have been just basically taken around your neck. Oops, never cooperates when you want it to. And you could either tie it or you could just tuck it into your outfit. You might actually even be able to put like a little brooch or a little bow here, but it would certainly jazz up your outfit, there's no doubt about that, and provide modesty and sunscreen during the day, which is really handy. Now these fichus could come in a wide variety of fabrics, not just white cotton, but very often there were stripes, some of them were silk, some of them had that infamous paisley pattern, some of them had all kinds of printed patterns, anything that they could come up with from the manufactories in India. Now aside from that, when you have a dress that has a matching pelerine, as we call it, now this is a dress that stands on its own, like so. This is an 1840s dress actually, quite pretty as you can see. But if you wanted to make it look a little bit different, so there's the front of it there, but if you wanted a slightly different look and you wanted to have something a little different, you can just put on this pelerine, which is actually like a big collar. Now pelerines could either match the outfit, or they could be lace, or they could be sort of a very fine cotton with lace edging. And this actually made the dress look quite different. So that's one option. Many dresses had neck bows. Neck bows could be made of silk and just add a little touch of something at the neck. And if you didn't want to have that particular bow, another day you could do a different color, or you could do perhaps a collar of some sort. Now this dress, you have a little bow, which is, going to be actually this way, like that. And what they've done with this one is put a very fine cotton piqué collar and cuffs. Now these are actually attached to the dress. So in some cases you might have to carefully unpick these when you were going to wash the dress, wash this separately, and then sew it back on again. Not a problem if you're a 19th century sewer, no difficulty. Nowadays we'd be kind of squawking about that, but they didn't think anything of it. But there's another route that you could take to avoid that, and that is, in this outfit, by having a detachable collar and cuffs. So what you do here is you put on what is called you could call this a chemisette, or we might call it a dickie. And this prevents having yet another layer underneath, right? So what you've actually got here is it's just a false front with a collar, and then you have undersleeves that are completely separated that you can just push up underneath your pagoda sleeves, your wide sleeves. Now, what's another reason that you might want to have a detachable collar and cuffs other than the convenience factor? Well, that would be the laundry factor. A lot easier to launder white collar and cuffs if they're not attached, and you don't have to wash the whole outfit. You just want to make sure that those collar and cuffs are immaculate. Now here's a couple of examples, another couple of examples of different kinds of undersleeves. You can see the fine tucking on this one. This one is a beautiful fabric and has a bit of a lace edging. So again, you definitely want to make sure that those were laundered. If you were going to get fancy with your undersleeves, just take a look at these. These are absolutely beautiful, just lace, and absolutely gorgeous. And another version of a chemisette, or dickie, as you want to call it, is this beautiful one, which would be actually early. You can actually put this in the 1870s with a bodice, or it could be actually early 1900s. And this is just this is actually quite a beautiful vintage one. And this is the lovely lace, and with a high neck, which is quite pretty actually. Now another option for to go around your neck would be a different kind of a fichu, and that would be the kind of thing that you could drape around the top of a dress, like this one, for example. And this would be like a lovely little lace collar, or this one, which is extremely fancy. This one, I love this one. This one is called blonde lace, and it's super, super fancy. And you could actually just kind of secure it with a little brooch, or just wear it as it is and just let it fly down like that. So these kind of wardrobe extenders actually could give you different looks for the same dress. And very often what might happen with some of these outfits is too that the actual dress was fine, but they would change up the trim on the dress. They might have added fringe or something, whatever was in fashion that year. And again, they were able to find out what was in fashion by reading ladies' magazines like Godey's or Peterson's to keep them up to date with the latest trends. So that was a little talk about wardrobe extenders, and join us next time for another Costume Confidential.